Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Gakenye Ndiritu back again with another dev video. So today we are kicking off a brand new project which I've called it the Freelance Project Management System. Basically, this is a backend system that helps freelancers and clients to work together. For example, where a client can post a project and a freelancer can send a proposal to work on that. Actually, it's all about the what happens in the world of freelancing. So you can think of this application like a mini version of Upwork or Fiverr if you have ever worked with such application. So it's built, but for this case, we are going to build it completely from scratch. We'll be using Node.js, Express, TypeScript, Drizzle ORM, Postgres, and for the case of the frontend, we'll be using TypeScript, React, EasyUI, all those components. So in this video, we are gonna go through our package.json file, talk about the dependencies, and also get to understand what each one of them does. I was planning to install everything live, but bro, my internet said not today. So everything for this case, the reason why I'm saying that is simply because as of now, the time of recording, my internet is very weak, like it's not even stable at all. So but for this case, I have already installed it, but I'll explain it at all what I've installed step by step, so you can still follow along easily. So I want to give you like a project overview of what's expected in this project. So here's the game plan. We are going to have three types of users. A user number one will be a client. So a client will be able to post a project, accept proposals, and also make payments. For the case of a second user will be a freelancer. So a freelancer will be able to send proposals. If the proposal is accepted, he works on the project and be able to track the payments. Number three, for this case, will be an admin. So an admin can manage users and monitor what's happening in the platform. So it's a solid full stack idea. We are building the backend first, then later move on to the front end to bring it all together. So yeah, let's dive into this package.json file and see what's powering our backend. So let's start by opening our VS Code. Let me show you my VS Code and what it contains. So as you can see, this is the folder structure of my VS Code. You can see I have the node modules which I've already installed. Package.json is the file open here. So the first thing which I want to do is that I want to first start with the package.json overview. So alright, so this right here is our package.json. It's basically the brain of our backend setup. So it tells Node what dependencies we are using, what scripts we can run, and all that good stuff. So this file which you are seeing here, this is all our brain of our project and all that stuff which I've said. So as you can see in that package.json, we have several sections indeed. Number one, we have the scripts. The main ones which we are going to discuss, sorry for that. The main ones which we are going to discuss for this case is the scripts, and also the dependencies, and also the dev dependencies. So let's start by, let's start with the script. So the script section, as you can see it here, let me just highlight it. This is now the script section. So what it does, this is where we define all our commands, like starting the server, building the project, and handling database migration. So it's like the shortcuts. Instead of writing the whole command, as you can see, for example, the first script here is called a dev. You can see the command that dev has. So instead of writing the whole command, we just write the script with the word dev. So I will explain them properly in a bit, but first let's check out the dependencies. So for the case of the dependencies, here are our dependencies. These ones here, which contains like the neon database serverless, types /bytecrypt, cause, .env, Drizzle kit, all those. So I want to break them down. And as we break them down, I'll be explaining dependencies. So let's start with the core stuff. So the core stuff for this case is the Express. So Express, let me show you. Express, this one here. So for this case, Express is the main web framework. It's what helps us to create routes and handle API requests. Like that's the work of the Express. You come to understand that later when you start building the servers, you will start building the services in which we are going to take place. The other thing, core stuff you need to know is the TypeScript. It makes our code clean and strongly typed. It actually means like no random bugs sneaking in here. That's its work. Then we'll have another thing like the TS node and TSX. Let us run TypeScript files directly without needing to compile them every time. So that's the work of the TS node and the TSX. So here's the TypeScript which I was talking about, and here is the TS and TSX node, TS node and the TSX. So those are some of the core stuff. Then from there, now let's get to the side of the database. So in database, we're going to have a PG. So let me show you the PG. So here it is. This dependency called a PG. So what actually it does, it connects our backend to PostgreSQL. It connects our backend to the PostgreSQL, which for this case the PostgreSQL is our database. Then from there we're going to come now to show you the Drizzle ORM here. So Drizzle ORM actually it means the object relational map, something of that sort. So it is a TypeScript ORM to manage our tables and queries. Like as we go on, you're going to come and understand them clearly. So from there, another thing which you can do is a Neon database serverless. Actually, this Neon database serverless, it will come hand in hand when you want to host our project. Like when you want to move our data from the local storage and host it in the internet through in the internet. Then from there, we also have some things to do with security and authentication. So the first thing we are going to use is the bycrypt here, which you can see here. So the work of the bycrypt, it is used to hash password. Like once you host like its main work of the bycrypt is to host actually to hash the password. What do I mean by hashing? So for example, you can type a password like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, but when it goes through the database, it cannot be stored in the same way, simply because we can have some hacking. A person can be able to penetrate our database and then get your data. So in order to prevent all that, bycrypt it hashes the password into a long list of many characters, of which even you cannot be able to even to decrypt at some point. I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to put a screenshot of a hashed password. Then from there, our second one is our JSON web token. It is used actually to handle user authentication with JWTs. So that dependency is here, JSON web token. Actually, all these I'm going to show you a good example of JSON web token. I will show you. Then the next dependency we are going to use for security is the helmet. So the work of the helmet, here is the helmet. So what helmet does, it adds security headers to protect your app. It's all about security. Then the other thing which you can check is the rate limiter, flexible, this one here. It's actually used to stop users from spamming requests, like sending too many requests, and actually at some point it prevents something like a brute force attack. And from there, another thing, a security measure which you're going to put in place is the cost. It makes sure that our front end can talk safely to the backend. So the security and other dependencies we're going to come to understand more than better when you start actually implementing them. Then from there we'll have another section for helpers and validation. So a good example of a helper is .env. It loads secret keys and database URLs from a .env file. So in our project we are going to create a .env file in which .env it actually holds data that we don't want to be exposed to other people. So we're going to show you them. I'm going to show you a screenshot of a .env. Then from there, the next helper for this case, we can call it a node mail. What a node mailer does, let me by the show you those dependencies here. So this is a .env node mailer. For this case, we are going to send emails like password resets, OTP to make sure that the account is legit, all those things. Like node mailer is all about sending emails. Okay. hope you get to understand up to that point. Then now our validator or our validation, we are going to use Zod. So Zod, what it does, it validates incoming data, ensures that everything is correct before saving. So what it does, for example, you can say your name, you give it not a name, you can say like your national ID, you have given it in the schema, you have said come as an integer. But when you in the form you put the when you try to recall that national ID as a character, definitely Zod will refuse, and it will bring you an error telling you that something customized error message like national ID is supposed to be an integer, not characters, those stuff. Then from there, now I want to come and get to a point which we call the dev dependencies. So dev dependencies, let me show you them. So here's an example of a dev dependencies. Here they are. So what they do, so these are dev dependencies, these are the many TypeScript definitions. They help TypeScript to understand libraries like Express, Node, Element, and Postgres, Node Mailer, Course, and all those stuff. So yeah, no magic here, just type support so you can get auto-completion and fewer bugs. So the main of just type is like it helps in auto-completion and getting and prevent many bugs. So then from there, now I want to go back again up a little bit now to the script sections, so where we can be able to explain one by one what everything means. So what the dev does, these are script for dev, it actually runs the server in development mode and it auto reloads every time you save. So instead of just when you want to start your server, instead of just writing all these this command here, this command here like tsx watch./source/server.ts, you just write the word dev. So build, what it does, it compiles this build here, it compiles TypeScript into JavaScript for production. So TSC actually means TypeScript compiler. Like the work of the build is actually to convert from TypeScript to JavaScript so that it can be so that it can be used in production. So mainly build is used when you want to host the backend into something like Render, Azure, all those stuff. So build, you're going to come and understand it later. So start, it runs the build version from the dist folder. So I'm going to show you a good example for dist folder, what it contains. So actually what a dist folder contains is like it contains all the TypeScript converted files to JavaScript. So the dist, it's only full of JavaScript files. Then from there we go now to this one, Gen here, with a Drizzle kit generate. So what it does, it generates our Drizzle scheme. So we are going like to generate migrations and all those stuff. Migrate, for this case, as you can see, the migrate, it's used to run migrations to sync our database. Like it is used to send our how do I put it, it's like it is used to, after generating the migrations, you send them to the database, for this case, which is our Postgres. Then from there we go to a studio. So a studio, actually what it does, it opens Drizzle Studio, which is a kind of a mini database dashboard. You are able to see your tables and those stuff. Then from there we have the seed, which it is used this seed here, which is used to add fake or demo data. Like we are used to push data to the database, like demo data, which actually you are not adding through your APIs or routes. Like it's for just adding demo data. Then from there we have the push. So this script push is just a combination. It runs everything. It's a combination of generate, migrate, and send, all in one go. So like as you can see, when you push, it has the result kit generate, of which it is here. Okay. Then tsx migrate.ts, this one here, of which it is in the migrate. Like it's actually doing all the things that go all in one time. Then from there we can, I think we can finish it up there. So that's the full setup of our freelance project management backend. So next we are gonna set up our folder structure, connect Drizzle ORM to the database, and start building our user and out system. Once the backend is solid and working, we'll move on to the front end, where we'll build dashboards for freelancers, clients, and admins. So make sure you smash that subscribe button, drop a like if you are following along, and leave a comment if you are building your stuff. I'm Gakenye Ndiritu, your boy. Thank you for watching and for your time. See you in the next episode. Thank you.